Hi everybody, welcome to Reality Buzz TV. Niyangazi-ke, me and Black Life TV nje asihlukani. So I'm watching this episode, you guys. This lady is from Emlazi Engonyameni. So she's married. She was wakhethwa esontweni ekuphakameni, one of the virgins ezakhethwa by a man that was older, wakhethwa enkonzweni by a man that already had two wives. Okay, so she was shocked when she was selected ke esontweni. Okay, but this is how it happened. The second wife of that man that married her, was the one that selected her to be the next wife for the husband. So even though she was shocked by the fact that she was about to marry this man, she was like, oh, if it's the wife that wants me to join the family, maybe it won't be that bad, because then maybe she likes me, maybe she's going to help me to integrate into the family. Maybe, she will be the one that will help me and teach me things. Maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe the thing, just things will be easier. Okay, so maybe we'll have a good relationship. So she bought into the idea of joining the family. So it was the three of them now. Okay, first wife, the wife that recruited her, they married the husband. Okay, the husband is well off, so finances were not an issue. Okay, the man pays lobola, everything. Okay, these girls are usually virgins. Okay, that's why we catch us on way. So the man pays everything. The parents are happy. She gets married. When she gets married, where she's getting married to, the man has built a home for the two wives in the same homestead, like Mzumbe. Okay, he has built a home for the two wives in the same homestead. Okay, what shocks her is that this man decides to build a home for her outside of her homestead. So she is surprised, because she was looking forward to, to be together with the other wives. But she's thinking, she's younger, remember? Okay, she wasn't thinking of, she was ready to get married. So she's just thinking, I don't know, maybe this is how things happen. Okay, this is what you do, what people do when the third wife comes into the family. They are given a house outside of the homestead. So they build her a house not far away from the homestead, but definitely outside of the homestead, even though the first two wives that are older than her have their houses inside of the homestead. She's shocked by it. It was how I was looking forward to bond with the other wives, but now I'm getting the house that's outside of the homestead. Why? But she doesn't ask the question. She accepts the fact that they're building her house outside of the homestead. She lives in the house. Immediately after the marriage, she falls pregnant, has a baby. She stays with the baby there. Now, what happens is that after she has the baby, the husband stops visiting her, stops coming to see her. Like, stops, never comes to see her. She has a beautiful house, beautiful baby, never comes to see him. He provides for her, sends her money, everything, but never comes to her home. Doesn't sleep in her home, nothing. When they go to church, they meet the husband at church, will ask her, how are you doing? How is the baby? Do you need anything? Provides for her everything, but never comes to the home, never comes to spend the night, nothing. She is confused. What's happening with my husband? And now she doesn't know. Am I allowed to ask the other wives? Am I allowed to ask the wife that recruited me about what's happening? Is this how things happen? Okay. She's thinking, okay, maybe it's because I just heard it, but maybe when the baby is old enough, okay, she waits, the baby grows, and the husband is not coming. Okay. Now, what happens is that this man decides to take two more wives. Okay, again takes two more wives. What happens is that he builds these two wives homes inside the homestead. So now he has five wives, all of them with their houses inside the homestead, but only her, the middle wife, has a homestead outside of the home. outside of the homestead. Now she is just even more confused with, Kandi, what is happening? Why am I the only one that has a home outside of the homestead? Why is everybody staying together but I am outside of the homestead? She says that at some point she thinks that the wife that had recruited her must have felt guilt because at some point she decides to revela her this story. Okay, and then she comes and says, listen, I want to tell you the truth about how this family lives. Okay, the wife decides to tell her, listen, okay, I'm going to tell you the truth about what's going on with this home. The father or our husband, Utwele, or is a ritualist. That is the reason why you are living here, meaning that Utwele ngawe. That's why when you have to live here. At this point, you guys, some weird things had started happening with her. She said that she used to feel like there was something that was happening in her stomach. There was moving in her stomach, and she was having some weird dreams. And that's why she was being left there in that house. She was being taken care of and everything, but she was not allowed to integrate with the family. The other wives were enjoying the life, but she was the sacrifice living there in a separate house. She says that what was interesting is that because she was so confused about this whole thing, even though she was confused about the living arrangement, but she was also watching Uthando Nesthembu. This was an interesting one. She said she was watching Uthando Nesthembu and she was realizing that they were also living a similar life because remember, on Uthando Nesthembu, Samseleko has all of the wives living in the homestead, but Samseleko also has one wife that is not living in the homestead. But so at some point she thought maybe it's a thing that just men do, where they have all of the wives living in the homestead, but they have this one wife that does not live in the homestead, because she was trying to convince herself that whatever it is that was happening with her was normal. Okay, so now she's at Black Life TV trying to get some help because she's like, I don't know what to do. She says that the things are weird because she says that when she's not happy, because she says she's even thought about taking her own life because she's miserable in that marriage. Okay, she's even gone and told the family that, what, this is what they are saying about this man, Utwele. That's why I'm living in that house alone. Okay, now she says that sometimes she'll be sad and this man will just show up. When she's not feeling okay, this man will just show up. It's almost like he can feel when she's not okay without her telling him. But he still won't spend the night with her. Guys, but you know what's confusing me is that because I thought that they say that abantu baseparliament they don't twala. So abantu baseparliament nabayatwala. Because she says ukuthi baphusonda eparliament. So she's there by the Black Life looking for a solution because she wants to be out of this whole thing. But now she has a thing moving in her stomach, which is probably a snake. She has a thing moving in her stomach and has a baby. Is that even a baby? You see, this temple is, there's always a wife, just one wife that is living a weird life. So the others are enjoying the life at her expense, and she is the sacrifice, and she didn't even know that she is the sacrifice. What? I'll just walk away. Anyway, you guys, go over there by Black Life and see weird stories. Just make sure that you don't have nightmares after you watch the stories, because some of them be causing you the nightmares. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before I'm going to share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Give it thunder.